Welcome to SustaiNews, where we bring you renewable energy and sustainability news. Today we're joined by Merve Güngör. She's a liaison coordinator at EKO Energy. EKO Energy is a non-profit eco-label for renewable energy, available worldwide. Ms. Güngör focuses on promoting eco-labeled renewable energy and supports the decarbonization of several industry sectors worldwide. Welcome to SustaiNews, Ms. Güngör. Let's first talk about green certificates like GoOs, RECs, etc. These are already available since many years in corresponding markets. Can you give us an overview of the benefits which corporates have when sourcing these certificates?
Sure. The renewable electricity certificates, they are also known as EACs, energy attribute certificates, help consumers to prove the fact that they are using renewables. So these certificates form the basis of any claim made around the fact that a consumer has chosen to use renewable energy. And these certificates also ensure that double counting is avoided, so that the consumer knows that based on the same volume of generation, no other consumer is making a claim, so that these volumes are basically consumed by them, and they can use this information in their reporting, they can use this in their communication activities, and like I said, they base their claims around renewable energy use on these certificates, regardless of their method of purchase. They can use different methods of procuring renewables, but regardless of what they choose, the certificates basically are at the very basis. And of course, there is the possibility of enhancing, basically adding more to what information these certificates tell. So the EKOenergy Ecolabel is one of these tools. The Ecolabel comes on top of the certificate, not literally, physically all the time, but it adds basically another layer of information. In the case of EKOenergy Ecolabel, one of these elements is environmental sustainability. Another one is the fact that thanks to the demand from buyers, we finance new clean energy projects all around the world, in developing countries specifically. And this helps us enhance the already existing positive impact of their choice. And this adds an additional positive influence to their preference. I call the renewable electricity certificates kind of a document like what we have as our ID cards or our passports. So it tells the very basic information about the origin of electricity. In our case, it tells us where we are from and our name. So it is a proven identity check. And the renewable electricity certificates also provide this basic information to help identify the origin of electricity. And of course, just like we have our ID cards, and we can have other diplomas or certificates to prove other skills or other qualities we have. For renewable energy, there can be eco-labels that serve this purpose, but these are not alternative, basically. These build on the already existing basic information a renewable energy certificate provides.
Thank you. Now, what is your opinion about the development of global green certificate markets? Do you think these markets will remain country-specific or more harmonized?
That's an interesting question indeed. On the one hand, there is increasing demand for more localized products and closer proximity. But on the other hand, when we look at the IRECs, for example, we already see that they have built the IREC standard, which can be applied anywhere. So regardless of the location of the country or any region, the IREC standard can be applied. And the past 5-6 years have shown us that the IREC standard has answered the questions and demands of energy buyers. So the standard basically has gained a name for itself. So we see IRECs being established and already being used in over 50-60 countries. But this doesn't mean that one harmonized system could take over any national initiative, because the market is very dynamic and there are a lot of developments taking place all around the world. So we need a multitude of solutions. Just because one one solution works doesn't mean that there shouldn't be any other option, because we hear about a lot of local initiatives that address different aspects. So when we talk about consumer demand, all consumers don't have the same concerns. So for one aspect, there hasn't been any concern or any extra request from many consumers, but this doesn't mean that tomorrow it will have to stay the same. So to answer the demands and the sophisticated demands of consumers, there can be new solutions developed, or there can be new tools or extra layers being developed. So basically, at the end of the day, this is a consumer-led market. And when initiatives or other tools or methods come up that answer these needs from the consumers, why shouldn't they be addressed? Why shouldn't they also be used?
All right, and lastly, can you talk about power purchase agreements as an instrument to source green certificates over a long time horizon?
PPAs are definitely a useful tool among the many other tools and many other options, because there is not one single method that's going to fit all buyers' needs. And of course, this is an advantage of power purchase agreements, that they can be customized according to the concerns or according to the requirements of the buyer, and also the capacity of the buyer as well, because we see this especially as a concern among smaller consumers. However, aggregation can be an option for them when several consumers come together, and this can be either on the form of forming a joint venture together and having a PPA, making a PPA under that name, or they can also pursue separate PPA agreements. And there are also many different types of PPAs. Again, it's not saying one type is better than the other, or one should be done more often than the other, but it's just basically depending on the needs and the industry and different concerns and budgets, and also the capacity, both financial capacity and human resources capacity of the consumers themselves. So from this perspective, PPAs are really a solution that have quite some potential to be further developed even, because this is a consumer-led market, and the requirements and demands of the consumers are going to shape the market of tomorrow as well. And this is indeed what we want to see more of, because with the leadership that is being taken today, tomorrow's new entrants to the market are also going to have it much easier, basically, and they can also start using 100% renewables.
Thank you so much, Ms. Güngör, for sharing these interesting insights. That was SustaiNews. We're happy to share more sustainability news with you on this platform. Follow us on LinkedIn and YouTube, on the company page Think Re, and subscribe to our newsletter for more SustaiNews. Thank you for watching, and we wish you an electrifying day.